couple days ago, I covered Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, a rare, non-Muppet Jim Henson Christmas special. Well, it's now time to talk about an actual Muppets Christmas-related special. It is John Denver and the Muppets celebrating Christmas together. And here to help me talk about this is the biggest John Denver fan that I could find. It's Jacob Martin. Jacob, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Ryan. How you doing?
Good. And thank you so much. Like I said, you're the biggest John Denver fan that I know. So when I pitched this to you, I figured this was going to be a pretty easy yes.
Absolutely. I'm actually a bigger Muppets fan than I am a John Denver fan, but I actually listened to all of John Denver's albums not too long ago. And John Denver had such an incredible voice. I love his skills and talents as a singer and a songwriter. I mean, you got Take Me Home, Country Roads, Annie's Song, Rocky Mountain High. Those are just great songs, just to name a few. But his career was so consistent, even past his creative peak. And he has a really good selection of albums, even near the end of his life. He still had some good stuff.
Yes, and this came out in 1979, so I'm not sure if this came out around like where he was like at his like peak in terms of popularity, but I would imagine that the Muppets were pretty hot around this time, so it
I think
seemed like it makes sense to put them together.
knowing the timeline, this came out the same year as the Muppet movie. So the Muppets were like really
Oh,
high in popularity. And this was just a little past John Denver's peak because John Denver's peak was probably around the mid 70s.
okay. Well, it tells the story of, well, John Denver and the Muppets. Like that's pretty much it. The plot is loose at best, but the basic gist is that they're creating a Christmas special. It's a little meta, but it basically has John Denver and the Muppets more often than not singing together. If you think it's wholesome, it is. And I love this special for that reason because that's exactly what it is, Jacob. It's not even an hour long. It's 50 minutes long. And it's just incredibly, like I said, wholesome. It's wholesome to see.
Yeah, I'm surprised that people do not talk about this special near as much. In fact, it only aired one time when it originally aired in 1979. You cannot find this anywhere on a DVD or anything like that, and it's not on streaming either. I was able to find it on YouTube, but you can tell it was somebody recording it off of the TV when it first aired, kind of like that's how the Star Wars Holiday Special has survived. You can find recordings of that, but unlike the Star Wars Holiday Special, which is terrible, this is actually pretty good. I can't say this is like the best thing the Muppets have ever done. I think as far as TV specials go, they did one in the 80s. I don't know if you've seen it, Ryan, but there was one called The Muppet Family Christmas, which has the Muppets, the Sesame Street characters, and the Fraggle Rock characters all together. And that special is excellent if you haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
It,
But
it's
this,
one of it's one of the best things Jim Henson ever did.
yeah, I don't think this one is near as good. But I still like the charm of it. I mean, John Denver has some good songs in there. You still have the Muppet charm in there. There's some funny bits. Even on a TV budget, there's still some good puppetry work in there and visual works in there. And I did enjoy a lot of the songs on there. In fact, I have heard the soundtrack album that this is based on. It's a big selling album, John Denver and the Muppets, A Christmas Together. And that is honest. To be honest, that is in my top three John Denver albums, if you include it. Uh, just him and the Muppets are a delight together. And the songs that are in the soundtrack album, a majority of them are in this special, and they're pretty good stuff.
I know in the version that I watched, like there was the original like John Denver and the Muppets, like the cold open, but then there was like brought to you by Dr. Pepper, and like and I'm like, definitely someone recorded this. And I
Yeah,
thought that was rather neat. I like watching old commercials sometimes. It's just a thing that I like to see. But you can definitely see that most versions out there are like VHS rips, which I'm not 100% sure, and I'll put something here if there's like a physical media release of this. And if not, it's like, guys, like what are we doing here? I'm just saying people love the Muppets, like people will buy that. I'm just saying.
yeah, it's crazy. This one doesn't have the same amount of love compared to some of the other things in the Muppets. I mean, I don't know if it's a licensing thing between the Muppets and John Denver. I don't know why this doesn't have like a official release or anything, but it's a shame.
Yeah, for what I understand is that maybe it's like a Disney thing. It's like it's like with this, the Netflix stuff, the rights issues are just like it's like trying to solve a Rubik's cube. You're just not going to be able to solve it. All that you need to know is that this special is just really, really good, and it's a very easy watch too. I said not even an hour long. It's 50 minutes. I'm sure it was longer with commercials back in the day, but the version that is out there is like 50, 51 minutes, and it's like it's so short that it just flies on by.
Yeah. Uh, I will say the first thing that I knew about this special, um, even as a kid, I knew the version of the 12 Days of Christmas. I heard that growing up all the time on the Christmas radio, John Denver and the Muppets singing at 12 Days of Christmas. So to see it in context in the Christmas special was an absolute delight. It was like a piece of my childhood where I heard the audio of it, but I never saw the visual of it until now. It was like a dream come true. I love seeing that.
Yeah, that was good, but it did drive me a little crazy. Their version is like they not doing the five gold rings. Like just they just plow on through that. I'm like, no, you deliberately pause there, you milk it a little bit, and then you continue. And they don't
Yeah,
do that. So it doesn't
yeah,
kill the song for me. I like the song, but it just years of conditioning of being like the you draw the five golden rings part out. Here they
yeah,
just like plow right on through.
yeah. It is slightly different than what's on the album version. In fact, there's a joke in the special version where Fonzie forgets his line. He doesn't do that in the studio recording, but I thought that was a funny addition that's in that they did in the special. So to me, it still works.
Yeah, and it's and like I said earlier, there's not a ton of plot here. The most that I could find is that Miss Piggy was stirring up drama because I mean, it's Miss Piggy. I mean, like what are
Yeah,
we doing here?
yeah,
But that's
yeah.
the
She
most
wants to
story of
play
it.
an elf. And she wants to play an elf in the Christmas special. Or John Denver wants you to play an elf in the Christmas special, and she finds it degrading. When she also has like the crush on him, like in the a lot of the sketches in the Muppet Show where she has a crush on like the male guest stars on that. So it's kind of funny seeing that extended in this special. I think one of my favorite jokes in the special is where Miss Piggy wants to see what John Denver looks like without his glasses, and so he takes his glasses off, and she doesn't recognize him. I was dying.
I remember that. It's like the Clark Kent Superman thing, but like in reverse almost.
Yeah, I love that bit. Uh, what do you think about the sketch where John Denver's a toy soldier, and there's that weird musical number about the camaraderie, and he's kind of out of line with the other soldiers, and Miss Piggy is the Fifi toy doll or whatever that was.
Yeah, that was incredibly bizarre. I mean, it's not the weirdest thing I've seen in a Christmas special. Yeah, I remember when I did Christmania 2 years ago, I covered the Munsters' Scary Little Christmas, where the enemy of the Munsters in that was a sentient fruitcake. So there is nothing that a Christmas special can do that can out-weird a sentient fruitcake. That being said, though, John Denver as a toy soldier, I'm like, I don't know. We're getting there. We're certainly getting there.
I'll tell you, when that sequence started, I was like, okay, I don't remember this song in the soundtrack album. But then he starts singing the song. I'm like, I actually did like the choreography.
Yeah.
I actually was laughing throughout it. And then what got the biggest laugh out of me is after Miss Piggy sings that melodramatic song about all the toy soldiers fighting and been waiting on her love to come back. You got John Denver running in this cheesy slow motion and Miss Piggy running in this slow motion. And as they're doing that, Miss Piggy's like, wait a minute. I think I did that in a movie once. Which poked fun of the love montage in the Muppet movie, which came out the same year. I was like, yes, this is the Muppet humor I love.
a recent homage. But I think at the end of the day, though, like I think like what you were saying, this is I think the best overall like is either Muppets Christmas Carol or Muppet Family Christmas, but this is definitely a worthy entry into the sizable subgenre of Muppet related Christmas specials. Like I said, there's not a ton of story here, but there's also like so much other stuff. The songs are great. John Denver is just a lot of fun in this. The Muppets are the Muppets. If you like any of that combination of those three things, you're going to love this.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with you. I mean, if you love the Muppets, this is still a worthy entry. You can't top the Muppet Christmas Carol as far as Muppet Christmas goes. That's like one of the best Muppet things there is. But this is still fun for what it is. And also, being a fan of John Denver, also, just seeing that combination still works pretty good. Even though I like the soundtrack album over than the special itself, but just seeing it in context, it's pretty good. I do like the songs, seeing John Denver and the Muppets together. And I did like a lot of the visual work, even on its TV budget.
Yes, but have you all seen this special? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to read what you have to say. If you do, I would have love to read those. It'd be interesting. But this is a special edition, not just of Christmania, but just a special one because, well, this is my last collab with Jacob Martin and I won't speak for Jacob, but he's done a whole video talking about it, but he is stepping away from YouTube to pursue much more noble goals. And I don't know if you want to talk about it here. You can if you want to, but I'll just say thank you for all of the years that we collabed and worked together. I always appreciated it. From the Scary Manias to the stuff I did on your channel with the Great Dictator. That was the first video we ever did together. And that was I just remembered that today. From there up to now, I always appreciated it. So thank you.
Yeah. So I definitely enjoyed the time that we spent together. It's we've had some good times talking about different movies and stuff. I'm changing directions. If you watched the video, I'm doing full-time ministry beginning in February, and so since I'm focusing on that, I won't have near as much time doing what I've been doing, and so I'm making a complete uh, kind of career change, and I'm looking forward to the opportunities there. So I'm looking forward to all those things, but this is a little bit bittersweet because we've had some good times together over the years.
Yeah. I'll never forget when we were doing Life in the Movies and I would just like I think we did the one where it's like the weird Easter specials one. And some of the ones that I was giving to you, you just like, what even are these ones? I can't remember the full episode right here and now, but it was like just some strange Easter specials. And I had so much fun coming up with ideas for like, he's never heard of this one. I should tell it to him and see what he thinks. And then we learned about the Lord of the Rings Beatles movie together. That one was wild.
Oh, yeah. The Beatles were never one for acting.
No, definitely not. But again, Jacob, can't thank you enough for all of the years that we have had together. Good luck in your ministry. I hope that that goes incredibly well for you. And I will, I mean, I won't, I don't think I'll be able to get to Tennessee from here for a while. But if I am in the area, I'll stop by.
Oh, yeah. Love to have you.
Right. Well, thank you so much for everything. Thank you all so much for watching. Christmania 25 rolls on.